I think we're just gonna be rolling with this because we already did the drink till and critique of the drink till we realized for some reason it wasn't recording. But let's recap really fast. Let's put the recipe on. So basically, it's a Bitter Temptations. We have 2 ounces of rye, a little bit of this particular bitters, I said, Franette, Branca,
yeah.
simple syrup, some Angostura, and all you do, it's a stir, non-shaken, and then we pour it in a chilled coupe glass and garnish it with a dry orange. Oh, here you go. Cheers again.
And I'm going to do Victoria's face for everyone if she was here to drink it.
I'll start coughing. Anyway, sorry, Vika. It is a very strong, it is a very boozy, manly drink. And I was saying earlier that it's quite nice for the ladies who want to have a little bit pow drink, but on the sweeter side, so less smoky, less like that hard liquor taste as some manly drinks are.
But you know what, though? What I say is I actually think it would be a great around the campfire drink.
Yeah.
Like if you're out there and you want something to warm you up, this would definitely warm you up. It's a really nice sipping cocktail around a fire after a nice dinner, relaxing. Like that's definitely.
And it has a little bit of that herbal tone to it. I think one of these bitters definitely give it. So you have to kind of like that a little bit. And but I actually like it.
It is a very nice drink.
It is a very nice drink. And again, I just want to put it out there, guys, let's do this, see if it works. Oh, look, like it goes with the ingredients. We do have our journal and all the drinks and topics inside of the journal already done for the rest of the season 4. So you can follow us on the show and make notes about the cocktail and about the conversation.
But we will put the link below for you on Amazon, so you know where to find it.
So one thing I like, and a suggestion out to our viewers, if you are following, let's say you're not drinking because it's a Wednesday afternoon and you're at work, and it's hard to make to your desk a cocktail, you can make our notes. Like,
or if you don't have as cool of a job as we do, or you can drink it.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, Robin and Anna said this drink would be good for this, or this is the notes. So you can actually pair it with, because it would be hard to remember what every show was saying, unless you wouldn't watch it.
All right.
Yeah, but let's talk about what to do if the home inspection fails or you have it goes sideways.
Here's the big thing. If your home inspection fails, and actually failure, this is one thing I wanted to make sure everyone understood. The only one who decides if your home inspection fails is you. It's subjective. There is no formula. It is your choice.
You as a buyer.
You as a buyer, not the seller. The seller has no say. But you as a buyer have the decision to make if it's failed or if it's passed. But the reality of it is the first 2 things you have to do is don't freak out and relax.
Yes, that's what I'm going to be doing right after here. I'm going to home inspection. I'm going to relax and not freak out. And, it's another thing is you have to remember that your realtor, one thing I wanted to point out, because I find that a lot of people don't know, we obligated to be at the home inspection. We have to open the doors and get the home inspectors in, and we have to stay through the duration of the process unless we have a special permission from the seller not to. But just because we're there, it doesn't mean we can buddy with the home inspector, or we can say we're really interested in this part. The home inspector has to be unbiased in their report.
And we have to be uninfluencing.
While it's being That's done. What I said.
Yeah, we can't influence the outcome of the home inspection. So a lot of times, first of all, a lot of times what we do, and some realtors will do this, where they'll sit outside in their car while the home inspection's being done, their prerogative. Personally, the way the rules are is the moment the realtor opens the lockbox, unless they have special permission to not be there, they are responsible 100% for that house and obligated to be there to ensure that the house stays safe. So as a realtor, what I usually do is let everyone know I'm going to be sitting at the kitchen table. I'm not going to be bothering anyone. I'm not interfering. I'm only there. And usually what I like to say is at the end, the home inspector is going to go through with you. And if there's something major, or something that concerns you, it's the only time that I ask the home inspector to come and show it to me so that I can actually take a look at it, understand what the problem is, so I can have an intellectual conversation with the other parties involved in the transaction.
That's right. So so once you've complete, you get your report and things are not to your satisfaction, because that's what the contract says, not satisfaction. It could be big, it could be small, it could be something you're uncomfortable, like work uncomfortable to do. So what you can do, so I mean, one like big thing you can do is just walk away, say, nope, I am super uncomfortable, and I actually end up hating this house and I'm leaving. And so in that sense, if you have purchase on condition to home inspection, you get your deposit back, we write non-waiver, and we move on or looking at your property. But let's say you like the property and there is like, the things that came back, they're a nuisance, they're not a big deal, and you still want to go ahead with the purchase. So we can always go back to the seller and renegotiate on different terms, right?
Yeah.
You can fix it, they can fix it, they can pay you, or you kind of half and half it. Like there's different
tons
ways.
of different ways. Now, here's what I always like. So I just bought a house down in Mississippi. It was built 1900s. It's 123 years old. When I did the home inspection down there, I knew in a 123-year-old house on the Gulf of Mississippi, there was going to be things that were going to come up. I expect galvanized piping. I expect asbestos. I expect all that kind of stuff because it is consistent with a house that is 123 years old. Now, what I told my realtor down there is I said, look, I'm doing the home inspection. I'm only going to renegotiate on the items of which I did not expect. So I said I would renegotiate on surprises. I personally think, and this is just my personal opinion, and that's how I tend to coach our clients, is negotiate on the things that were surprises to you, that you couldn't see, that you couldn't inspect. So things like, I know whenever we're in a house, I don't give an opinion on poly B piping, but I will always point it out and I will always tell you to do your own research on poly B piping and decide your comfort level. So I currently live in a house with poly B piping, have for 25 years, don't personally have a problem with it. That's my comfort level. It's all about your risk assessment and your understanding. So for me, I always try as a realtor and point out things that we can see as we're going through the house and you have interest to say, okay, you see this, you see this. Because those are the kind of things you should be negotiating in your offer and taking into consideration in your offer when you're paying up front. So when you're picking the price you're going to pay for the house, if you think poly B is an issue, you should negotiate that into the price that you purchase.
Or
if
don't buy it.
Or don't buy it, exactly.
If you're not ready to redo it.
Yeah, and then if you look and you see that the entire electrical panel is tapped, those are the kind of things we look at. And if you think, no, I want to put in a hot tub and I'm going to need a sub panel, then that is something you consider up front when you're looking at costs. If we stand outside the house and I say, hey, guys, those shingles look like they probably need to be replaced in the next 10, 15 years, then those are the kind of things that you should take into account when you're looking at that house and offering price up front. So anything that you can see that's obvious, broken windows, damage to the property, cosmetic deficiencies, are things that you can see up front. But sometimes the home inspector will go up and he'll see the roof and you'll think, okay, maybe it's got, 10 years left in it, 15 years left in it. And the home inspector goes up and says, no, you got to replace it tomorrow. Well, that's a surprise. That you should be negotiating on. If they turn on all the appliances and they're like, hey, the stove doesn't work, that's a surprise. That you can negotiate on.
I just actually had that where actually out of 4 appliances, 3 did not work.
Exactly. So, that's a surprise because we maybe didn't check the appliances while we were looking at the house. So that's a surprise. That's something you can negotiate on. Now, but the big thing you have to understand is that the sellers don't have to negotiate with you.
Yes.
Sometimes that can frustrate people, especially in hot markets, because the seller may know that they've got 6 other offers behind you, and they picked your offer because it was the highest price, and they're not going to negotiate on those items. So keep in mind, just because you want to negotiate, and if you've had children, you understand this, just because you may want to negotiate, doesn't mean they want to negotiate.
That's right. Sometimes the answer is just a no.
Exactly.
And with the sellers, sometimes sellers get surprised by the home inspection. They think their house is well taken care of. It's all nice and beautiful, especially if they went through it. And then the surprise is. So they may ask for things like pages of the report or report in whole. And you have to remember the report is a buyer's property because you hired that home inspector and the report was given to you, which you paid for. And it's up to you to share it. However, for example, if I'm renegotiating, and especially like a bigger items, the home inspectors usually take pictures, videos, do a write up, and it's always beneficial to show, hey, listen, we're not being crazy and ridiculous here on renegotiating. Here's the pages of report showing all those things. You don't have to send the whole report. I usually screenshotted those specific pages, but it shows like who was the inspector, when it was completed, all the pictures and things like that, and I provide those to the listing realtor, and usually works in a favor of the buyer.
See, and I always like providing the whole report because it shows you all the other things they looked over.
Well, yes. So that also could be a tactic. Yes, absolutely. I don't do it all the time, but let's say like I usually renegotiate that way. If there's a whole bunch of little things, no big disaster things, but like mediocre to little things, and we say, hey, there's a report, whole bunch of stuff in there, but we want only these 5 things. And when they see 5 things versus like a 20 things, they get, okay, well, we'll fix those.
But also remember, is your home inspector's job is to find things wrong with your house. I've had home inspectors in brand new build houses, and they find things wrong because that's their job. So don't sit here and think and take everything to heart. And this is the one thing I will tell everyone. Please attend your home inspection if you can. It makes it so much better and so much less scary than when you provide the report.
Yes.
So lots of times when people don't attend their home inspection and then they just get the report, then they call us and they're upset and they're freaking out and all that other kind of stuff. And then I say, did you call the home inspector to get a verbal understanding of what he meant by everything? Then they call the home inspector, call me back, and they go, oh yeah, everything's no big deal. I just talked to the home inspector. It's lovely. His job is to put everything in the kitchen sink in the home inspection. So have a conversation with your home inspector. Attend your home inspection.
Yeah, at least for that last hour, because some home inspection can be very long, and for a lot of the portion, a big portion of it, home inspectors doing their thing, so you're kind of sitting around and waiting. But at least for that last hour, you come in because the home inspector will show you issues they found, maybe how the house operates, like where's your water shut off, and things like that. And then they also go through what the report's gonna look like, how to treat the report, and of course they're gonna go through the contract, what they look for, what they don't, and sometimes they take through the rooms with the infrared camera, look for the moisture, so you can kind of see it for yourself. It's a really good experience, very hands-on and very comforting, I find.
Yeah. Now also too is remember that home inspectors can't give you quotes on what it would cost to replace this, what it would cost to repair this. So I'm a big...
Even if they can, they're not allowed.
Yeah, they're not allowed. They're actually like licensed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, if you have something that really bothers you, get 3 professional quotes on the issue. And it's really the best way to deal with it, because if you can go back to the seller with those 3 professional quotes and you can say, hey, look, here's the quotes I got. This is the remedy I'm looking for. It could be cash. It could be them fixing it. It could be each of you paying a portion of it. All that kind of stuff. Like there's 1,000 different ways. And even though you have a deadline on your home inspection, when issues arise, we have the capacity to extend that deadline to give you time to get your quotes, to give you time to renegotiate. So yes, the deadlines are strict, but the deadlines can also be extended with mutual agreement in writing.
Yeah, and like again, generally, like we have 1 or 2 contractors in every field that is required to come there, like within the 24 hours, I would say. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm being pretty lucky that way. Sometimes, like I call people, like I need like a quote on a boiler or furnace or whatever, things like that, roofing, and yeah, it's.
I just think we're surrounded by good people.
Yeah, well,
I think we're super lucky.
Yeah, so for some reason I always been like lucky, but yes, it could be a little bit nerve-wracking. It's like you find something wrong and you literally have to close in 10 hours. It's kind of so there's a ways of going to do it, and that's why another way I try not to push the inspection to the last day or day before. So if we do find something, like the both parties have a chance to talk about it, figure out the solution, go or get the quotes and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry,
Go
and
ahead.
consider too, how long do you plan on living there? So
Yeah.
sometimes what people will do is they'll say, okay, well, this is the house I'm going to live in for 25, 30, 40 years, and the house that I'm going to die in. And they're like, oh
That's
my
dark.
gosh, that's dark. I guess we're past October. I can't be dark anymore. But like, they're going to be in this house for 30, 40 years. That's their intention and their plan. And you know, I don't know, let's say there's only 10 more years left in the roof or 5 more years left in the roof. Well, I always say to them, I say, realistically, do you intend to live in the house for a long time? Because you're probably going to have to change the roof regardless.
Yeah, you're probably going to be changing a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and what do you plan on doing with the house? So I always try and get people to think about that. Like, what do you plan on doing with the house? Do you plan on doing substantial renovations in short order? Do you plan on living in it for a long time? Because you have to actually assess the time frame you tend to be there for what you expect out of your home inspection. And then what's consistent with the age of the house. Just like I said, I bought a house built in the 1900s. I have another house that was built in 1932. There are certain things that come with houses that are really, really old. They're beautiful. They're stunning. They have a ton of character. Obviously, I like new houses or old houses now that I say this because I have a lot of old houses. But there are things that come with those, and you have to be ready to accept those when you're looking at houses that are older. 80s have their issues. 90s have their issues. 70s have their issues.
2000s too.
Yeah, 2000s. All these places have their issues, so you need to keep that all into account when you're looking at these houses. Every decade has something that we put in houses that is going to come up in a home inspection.
Yeah,
or multiple.
And I also gonna say sometimes like there is a big preference on what kind of utility stuff you have in your utility room, like what kind of boiler, what kind of furnace, what kind of humidifier, things like that. So let's say it's a hot water tank that let's say it's old, but you know you're gonna be replacing it because you want it bigger, more efficient, or whatever. Like that's another thing. Like that's a cost you're gonna have to eat as a new homeowner.
Yeah.
And there's no point of renegotiating because most likely the seller will put a new hot water tank and not the one you're gonna like.
Well, and that's exactly it. Hot water tanks, I guess, have a 5-year life expectancy because of the hard water in Calgary. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these things. Another thing as well, actually, I remembered it, and now it's kind of fleeted my mind, is what were you
humidifiers,
furnaces. I don't remember. It was something really good. It was so smart.
I said something. I said something smart.
No, you always say something smart, but I was going to build on it because it was such a good point. I don't remember. I'll think of it later. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. So that's it. So if you guys have any questions about home inspections, we are here to answer. We generally take all our clients through the process, once we're going through it, so you stay informative. But if you need more information about it, please contact us. And yes, we do provide with a list of home inspectors if you're really stuck and you don't know anybody. Let's do the fun part, right? Fun part?
The fun part.
Well, we're going to announce our prize. I didn't open it. See? We weren't ready.
Oh my gosh, you got to watch her open this box. It's super fun.
I don't think we have enough time in the show. Like, see, it's not even moving because I barely was able to put it back together last time. Okay, I got it. Okay. It really takes 4 hands.
It does it.
Yeah.
I've opened it many a time.
It comes in a really cute box. And what was like martini glasses?
Martini glasses. Super high-end, high-quality martini glasses. Because it is Movember, and you need to have like your shaken, not stirred martini 007 cocktail for
and you get 2 of those so you don't drink alone.
That's right, because drinking alone...
Well, you say if you have a dog, it doesn't count.
Exactly. Yeah. And then honestly, if you drink alone, it's like because you're doing Tipsy Realtor, no one else came.
Yeah, because everybody's on vacation.
All right.
Okay, and what are we doing next week? I did put it in.
Next week, you did. Next week is Fright Night in the Grove, our real-life scary stories of real estate.
Oh, scary stories. I have to think about some scary stories.
My goodness, why didn't we put that in October?
I don't know. It has tequila and Jägermeister. Oh, my God.
I'm going back to my college days.
That's going to be a scary drink on its own. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, obviously the market is still very tight with the inventory.
Hang on, we have to put that in there about prizes.
Yes.
Prizes are offered on behalf and by Remax Realty Professionals. Rika, you're welcome.
disclosure right there. And yes, so as we move on, you guys, the number on the screen, give us a call if you want us to list a property and you're wondering how successful you be in November, December selling your home.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you'll be very successful, pretty much in
If you
majority.
hire us.
Sorry,
They'll be
hire,
successful
oh,
if
hire
they
us.
hire us.
I heard something else.
Yeah, if you hire us, you'll be successful.
And I won't say that on camera.
Don't be crazy. So, please, if you have friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy or sell a house, having any questions, we don't care what they are. We really, truly do want to help make sure you make the most informed decision. We are there for you. We fight for you. That's what we do. So, give us a call, number on the screen, go to our website. Any one of us will be here to help you.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Bye.